I'm not going to be shooting 66% in my career, but I'm also not going to be shooting 25%. So I don't think there's really a corner to be turned. It's not how progression goes.
You ever seen a giraffe do a backflip? Well, get ready for something even crazier. Victor Wembanyama, the 7'5" giant of the NBA, just pulled off the basketball equivalent.
He is the most highly anticipated NBA draft prospect since King James. The 19-year-old is French, so I traveled to Paris.
Hey, I gotta eat whenever I can. Before practice, after practice, before going to bed, after waking up.
Most anticipated prospect of his generation.
Hey, how are you?
I hear you come here often.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to it.
Show me.
This guy who can touch the rim without jumping suddenly started moving like a point guard and draining threes like it was nothing. We're talking about a center who made Steph Curry look small. How is that even possible? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Been looking forward to sharing this with everybody, my exclusive interview with Victor Wembanyama. If you don't already know him, you will by tomorrow night's draft. The 19-year-old is French, so I traveled to Paris to meet this special young man.
You know what's crazy? Picture a guy taller than Yao Ming, but moving like Kyrie Irving. That's Victor Wembanyama for you. This dude's 7'5", but he's out here breaking ankles like he's 6 feet tall. It's wild. Let's talk about Wembanyama's insane ball handling skills. You'd think a guy that tall would be clumsy with the ball, right? Wrong. He's crossing up defenders left and right, leaving them in the dust. It's like watching a skyscraper do the cha-cha slide.
Ever since I touched the basketball, I've never stopped. I've always practiced to play the way I play today. That play style, that agility.
The day in, day out, the grueling NBA schedule.
They could think that because they don't know my work ethic. I know how I work, how we work.
You won't believe this, but his coaches had him wear goalkeeper gloves to improve his dribbling. That's wild, right? Imagine trying to control a basketball with huge gloves on. But it worked. Now he's got handles that would make even the best point guards jealous. Picture this, Wembanyama sprinting down the court, covering half the floor in like 2 steps. Then, out of nowhere, he pulls up for a 3. Swish. It's like watching a giraffe do backflips. You can't help but shake your head in disbelief. But here's the thing, it wasn't always smooth sailing for Wemby. He had to fight to play this way. Some coaches wanted to stick him in the paint and make him a traditional big man. Can you imagine wasting all that talent? It'd be like telling LeBron to just stand under the basket and wait for rebounds. No way!
It's just accomplishing something that I've been dreaming of, my whole life.
For myself, and I'm so determined that the expectations of others are nothing compared to what I expect of myself.
He's for sure a generational talent.
Wembanyama had to prove he could do more than just dunk and block shots. He spent hours working on his shot, his dribbling, his footwork, and it paid off big time. Now he's out there looking like a 7'5" Steph Curry. Speaking of Curry, you won't believe what happened when they faced off, but we'll get to that in a sec. First, let's talk about how Wembanyama shocked everyone by outplaying Steph Curry.
Your athletic trainers, the way they get you prepped. There was something that I read about, you take off your shoes and socks and you crawl.
A strict routine on and off the court for Victor, who has led his team to the finals of the top-tier French Pro Basketball League.
As a basketball player, it gets the feet stronger. If your feet are strong, you can then get better on every other aspect of your body.
It all started with these crazy training methods we talked about. All those hours dribbling with gloves, shooting threes, and working on his footwork, they turned Wembanyama into a basketball unicorn. He's not just tall, he's skilled. He's not just blocking shots, he's draining threes. He's not just dunking, he's crossing up defenders. Remember when we said Wembanyama looked like a 7'5" Steph Curry? Well, what if I told you he actually went head-to-head with the real Steph Curry? And get this, it wasn't Curry who stole the show. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes when these two basketball unicorns squared off. All right, picture this. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter ever, going toe-to-toe with this 7'5" giant. You'd think Curry would run circles around the big guy, right? Well, guess what happened? Wembanyama starts raining threes like it's nothing. The crowd's going nuts. Curry's looking around like, is this real life? But it gets crazier. Curry tries to shake Wembanyama with his fancy dribbles. Wemby stays right with him. It's like watching a skyscraper move like a ballerina. I mean, how is this even possible? A guy that tall shouldn't be able to move like that. Then comes the moment everyone's talking about. Curry pulls up for one of his signature deep threes. Wembanyama's right there, his wingspan practically covering half the court. You think it's a sure block, right? Nope. Curry somehow arcs it over those massive arms. The ball barely clears Wemby's fingertips. Swish. That's the shot that went viral on social media. It's insane. But here's the wild part. Wembanyama comes right back down and drills a three of his own. It's like watching two different species playing the same game. You've got Curry, the human cheat code, and Wembanyama, the basketball Godzilla trading shots like it's nothing. You know what's even funnier? They had a jump ball. Curry tried to keep a straight face, but he was cracking up inside. He knew he had no chance against Wemby's reach. After the game, Curry joked, "I tried to keep it deadpan. I was laughing on the inside because I knew I had no chance." That's Steph for you, always keeping it light even when facing a human skyscraper. But don't think Curry let Wembanyama steal all the glory. Nah, the Warriors superstar went off for 35 points that game. He showed everyone why he's still the best shooter in the world, even when there's a 7-5 giant trying to swat his shots into next week. It's crazy to think about, right? Wembanyama's out there changing the game. He's not just tall, he's skilled. He's not just blocking shots, he's draining threes. He's not just dunking, he's keeping up with the best shooter in NBA history. It's like someone took all the cheat codes in basketball and made them into one player. And we're all just here watching in awe. So there you have it, folks. A 7'5 giant who moves like a guard and can go toe-to-toe with the best shooters in the world. Can you believe it? Wembanyama's not just changing the game, he's rewriting the rules of what's possible in basketball.
Being too humble. You gotta be humble enough to be able to respect the game. But if you step on the court too humble and scared, you're like, you can't do anything.
The night of the draft, what's going to be going through your mind?
Gonna be so high on emotions. It's really special for me and my family.
It's like someone took all the best parts of different players and mixed them into one super athlete. You know what's really wild? Wembanyama himself said, "I was probably born with that will to do things differently and do my own way." And boy, is he doing things differently. He's not letting anyone put him in a box. He's out there showing us moves we've never seen before from someone his size. Keep your eyes on this kid, seriously. We might be watching the birth of an NBA legend right before our eyes. Wembanyama's excited about it too. He said, "I think it fits my game so well. I love playing these games. I feel like I got so much to express on the court." And express he does. Every time he steps on the court, it's like watching basketball history unfold. This is just the beginning, folks. Can you imagine what he'll be doing in a few years?